What's up guys, it's Cater here. I'm here to give out my comprehensive SBroly guide. But kind of just doing this because, well, after my Tion video, everyone was like, yo, drop the SBroly combo video. And I'm like, yeah, but you know, shit happened. And then I guess I'm here now because, you know, my friends just talked me into this. And I'm like, sure, why not? You can do this. Because a lot of people consider me now as like the best SBroly in the US. And I mean, hey man, if I can show whatever 5 SBroly's out there, whatever I know, how I can help you through combos, pressure, block string, and overall like synergy with like certain team comps and like what you should do with like set teams and like how you should play around with your strengths and weaknesses. So, without further ado, I'm just gonna give y'all whatever I know. And as a quick disclaimer, a lot of the things in this video are subjective. Not everything should be like followed one-to-one, as like I see with a lot of SBroly players. A lot of like the options they choose are based on like what they believe in, and it works. Some of it works, some of it doesn't, but like I simply just gonna give you whatever I think is best for the character. So let's get into it. Let's get this money. Alright, first things first. So we are going to talk about what buttons should you press with SBroly. Alright, so SBroly. A lot of his buttons are obviously very slow, or they require a lot of recovery in them, and then you, in this current meta, where there's a lot of big buttons being thrown around with no recovery, you're often scared to press said buttons. So, I'm going to tell you what buttons you probably should be pressing, in my opinion, and obviously your opinion might differ between, like, what you believe in, but I'm just going to tell you what I think. So, first off, I think pressing his 2L is a must. Like, if you're not pressing this 2L, you're probably not playing the character right. It's 6 frames, it goes really high, it's mad easy to confirm off of. Like, you could do like stuff like that, and confirm. Like, it's just, in my opinion, his best button. Like, I'm pretty sure a lot of SBroly's believe this, a lot of people that don't play SBroly believe this. It's just his best button, free. And then, his 5L, they buffed it to where it goes like much farther now. I think it goes about, yeah, like this far. So it's actually good when you want to like catch someone that's trying to jump from your string after like jailing them to the ground, or like barely jailing them to the ground with the assist. So it's actually pretty good. I just wouldn't throw it around all the time because obviously like literally 32 frames of recovery. But it's actually really good for like those types of scenarios, like say like they're jumping. You can catch them from this far and then already go into a string. So, I mean, it's actually worth going for in some scenarios, I guess. Next thing I want to talk about is pretty much his 5S. His 5S is buffed this patch. They sped it up. I would recommend only throwing 1 to 2 Ki Blasts. Why? Because a lot of people, like, if you play in a higher level, or at least not even just a higher level, if someone jumps over your Ki Blast, his Ki Blasts have enough recovery to where sometimes you really just can't block or you can't reflect afterward. So you should probably just stick it to 1 or 2. So this way you can reflect afterward, you can block. Like you can actually be safe after that to where like you wouldn't get punished for it. And it's very non-committal in a way. So pretty much just like how you would play other characters like Team Gohan, where he has 1 to 2 Ki Blasts. He can obviously stagger more Ki Blasts since he doesn't have as much recovery, but SBroly, he can similarly do it to an extent, but like you should only stick to 1 to 2 Ki Blasts. Next thing I'm talking about is his 236S. His 236S is easily one of the best buttons, well, specials that he has, because it has a diagonal angle, it has armor, it's projectile invul, and it is great when used with assist, because you can pretty much just skip neutral. Like, the only thing I would say about this is that don't use it sparingly, because it can get punished against like characters like Vegeta or like Team Gohan, or like pretty much anyone that can like punish it without being tall, or if they have a like a low hitting normal. Like for example, if he does like the 236S from here, I can punish it. It's really punishable on whiff, because you know it's just SBroly things. Not even just that, this is really just a whiff punish. Like I could just do stuff like that, and you really just have to like be careful of how you use it. A lot of times when like you have Vegito, you really want to use 236S because they have Banshee Blast and it's, you know, annoying to deal with. But from my experience, you have to use this sparingly because you can actually beat the Vegito player in this matchup. Like, I actually like playing this matchup with, like, out of all the characters I play besides Vegito, I would actually run the SBroly Vegito like matchup because Team Gohan actually struggles against SBroly because he can't really get in. Not SBroly. He actually struggles against Vegito because he can't really get in on him because Banshee Blast really just fucks everything that he does for real. But with Broly, with assists, he can actually like sparingly use 236S in a combination of 5S or sometimes 2S to actually keep him at bay and get in on him at times. You just have to be really, really creative with it and make sure you're not just, you know, just spamming it. Like, bro, trust me, I love, like sometimes to troll, I just love doing this. It's really funny, but sometimes it's just not worth it and you should just use it sparingly, as I would say, and efficiently. Lastly, for the normal section, I kind of just want to talk about his 2S and his 2H. So, first with his 2S, it's a beam. It's, you know, has beam properties. It's slower as it's 32 frames full screen, 24 frames up close. It's good for, I call them key blast stare downs, if that makes any sense. Like, when you have a character that has key blasts and you guys are both scared to shoot each other, using 2S is actually not a bad idea, as if they're late to press key blast, they're gonna get hit by the beam. So I wouldn't use it all the time. Like, if anything, I'd rather just use 5S if I want to zone from full screen, or use 6S. But using 2S actually isn't that bad of an idea, and it's even better when you have like defensive assists or even just normal assists in general to cover those options. And then of course 2S can also be followed up with Quake. Both Quake and, well, M Quake and EX Quake. EX Quake is a better frame trap in my opinion because it's just faster. I really wish it was a low, but it's not, sadly. But it's really good for just those types of scenarios if like they're trying to jump or they're just trying to moon jump, buffer moon jump or anything like that. It's just really good for that in general. And then his next option, well, the next button I was going to talk about is his 2H. His 2H, they buffed it, I think, a couple of patches ago. It goes farther now. It used to like not move him forward at all. Now it actually moves him forward a nice amount. So you could really just do stuff like run up 2H. Like run up 2H to grab, run up 2H and the ball. Like, it's low-key a good option if you have an assist. Like, don't let them lie to you. Like, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. People will say run up 2H is ugly. I am one of those people. But it's unironically a good option in this meta. Because it catches like a lot of times people like super dash and backdash into button. This OS is that. It's just so good. Like, it's ugly, it looks so ugly, but it works. I promise you. Like 9 times out of 10, if you do this in those types of scenarios, it will hit them. But even if it doesn't hit them, you'll have an assist to make yourself safe, and then you can even go into greater mind games, which I'll get to in a later section with the Blockstrings. But for now, 2H plus assist is really good. Alright, probably the most subjective part of the video. This is going to be his Blockstrings. So, you're going to ask, how do I string people up with SBroly? His grabs are slow. It's pretty reactable, I guess. I'm here to tell you, I played this character offline and online. People have gotten gripped, people have gotten opened up. It's definitely possible. You just have to be creative and make it work. I promise you it can work. You just have to do proper conditioning, mental stack, and actually place your grabs at points to where they actually won't be able to jump them. And you'll see what I mean. So, for starters, I like doing 2M staggers. 2M, it's -7, so you can be safe after it. And a lot of people tend to reflect after that. So, you can often do like 2M into grab, because it's kind of early in the string enough to know that like they're not going to choose an option yet, and if they're going to choose an option, it's either going to be reflect or on the off chance they just mash through it. But I promise you, most times they're not going to mash, they'll either reflect, but you have anti-reflect strings for that, so it'll be fine. And then stringing early in the string, examples of that would be like 2L in the grab after like, let's say if they jump. So I'm going to have him jump real quick. Actually, I'm going to do this. Yeah, I should do this. So let's have him jump, and then have him stand. You can do things like that. Like, I promise you, that is a true mental mind game. Because they're not even ready to react to grab yet. They actually have to land and then process the fact that they're actually getting grabbed. So you pretty much have to land and then jump. But like, only really good players are gonna do that. Like, I've hit top level players, well, not top level players. I've hit so many people with that. I promise you, that will work at least once or twice. And then another example of that would be just doing like 5L in a grab, because you could do 5L in a DR, you could do 2L 5L DR, you could do 2L 5L grab. Things like that are ambiguous. You want to keep it as ambiguous as possible. And speaking of ambiguous, you also want to employ 6Ms. 6Ms as grapplers as a whole in this game are very strong. Like system mechanics as grapplers, oh my, that should be delicious, bro, because they really just don't know what to do. So sometimes you can do solo 6M, 6M plus assist, and then you could just go into cross up, which you could do cross up JM. Cross up JM into 5L, now true strings, because his 5L got buffed to make it go farther. Before you had to do like dash up, like micro dash 5L, but now you can just do 5L. And then another thing, you can also just employ same size super dash. So like you do like that. Or you could do it off most staircases. Just be careful if your opponent tends to like 2H after staircases, then you could just condition your opponent to just, you could do dash up 6M, which is more of a universal thing, not really SBroly specific, but it works. So I would recommend just doing 6M and DR a lot if you want to condition your opponent to hold grabs. Next thing I'm going to talk about is his 5H and 2H spacing, because that employs 3 different things. He can either do 5H, 2H ball, 5H, 2H grab, or 5H, 2H quake. You can also do this all 5H, just normal 5H as well. What I would do, it only depends on 3 things. Number 1, if you think they're going to jump or mash, do ball, because it has armor and it'll catch the jump. If you think they're going to, if they're just going to hold that or they're going to reflect, do grab, it'll catch the hold or the reflect. And if you think they're going to DP, or if they're going to level 3, do the quake, you'll be safe. I would switch these up based on like just my opponent's habits, and it's mainly just a conditioning thing. So a lot of these things I'm going to tell you, you have to employ them in your gameplay and you have to run with it. You can't just like autopilot offense. You have to truly see a feel of like what options your character, well, your opponent are going to choose on defense. And also just seeing like if it's like a DP character, are they mainly going to DP on grapplers? Are they that type of person to DP on grapplers? Just things like that. Like you have to make your opponent respect this character, and the more and more they respect this character, the more and more they're going to get opened up. I promise you they'll get opened up. Alright, his next like big thing in Blockstrings are going to be his anti-reflex. Always do his anti-reflex in any string. His unless it's in very conditioned scenarios, but like me, I always do just his anti-reflex. It's just a nice autopilot. It's perfect, even if they reflect, because they always think that he just has bad recovery, in which he does. So they're gonna press his like any real like 5M, 2M, or lariat. They're gonna press that because he's like, damn, this character has fucking ass recovery. Let me just do this real quick. But his 5M really just lets him ignore that. Like, look how far he gets pushed back from his 2L. Really far, right? But look at what his 5M does. It puts him right back. So it's a true anti-reflect string. So they can't do like 5L, like reflect lariat or anything like that, because they're going to get hit. Or if they double reflect, you can follow up. Like you could do that, because that also anti-reflects. And then even if they're just mashing reflect, you can just do ball and just return to neutral. So you could do, oops, my bad. Like you could return to neutral, and if they press lariat, they're gonna get hit because you'll armor through the lariat. Unless it's like Labcoat's lariat, in which it has multiple hits, but like most single hit lariats, they're gonna get hit by that because they just don't have enough. Like SBroly's armor is just gonna armor through it. So he has very strong anti-reflex. Just never commit to like 5M, like like 2M or 5S. It's not really the best. Just always do 5M. I promise you, like doing this 5M, it's just so good. Just please do that. I promise you, that's his best anti-reflect string free, bro. This next section is going to be like very corner specific setups with SBroly that you probably should be doing, as they're really strong, to be honest. Like, if you hit them in the corner just as normal BNB, I'm just going to Dragon Rush for example, so I can just test this really quickly. Notice how most scenarios they can either, you know, they can up tech, they can down tech, and they can forward tech. SBroly 2L can meaty all three of these options when done correctly. And now you're plus. So you can do things like this. This is really good. I promise you, this is so strong. Why? Because you can now do things like this. If you have them conditioned into thinking the 6M's coming, you can do things like that, because now they're probably fuzzy they're fuzzy stand blocking. You can do things like it's just so good. It's just so strong. But a lot of people don't really know that, and that's why I'm here. I'm going to tell you that a lot of these things that he has are actually very valuable as soon as he's getting started, and as if he has the assists that allow him to do this. If they decide to forward tech after Quake, you can actually, if you have an assist, you can do up ball. Well, not up ball. You do JS in a Quake, and then call an assist, and now you're plus. So they're not going anywhere. You're actually keeping them in the corner. He even catches them if they like mash after forward teching. So it's just really strong. But that's only if you precisely know they're going to forward tech. Otherwise, just do 2L. I like doing 2L a lot better because I don't have to really expend a resource to do it. I can just keep them in the corner if I want. Another way to answer corner options would be to meaty their down tech mash if they choose to do that, or if they just down tech in general. Because they have to tech first, and they're essentially minus. Like you see that time, I let them tech like to probably the most I can before like I'll get hit, and they still can't hit me because they still have to tech before they can mash. So that's actually a really strong option if you really feel like they're going to do that. That's why I said his 2L is just so strong in the corner. That's why sometimes just doing soft knockdown is good, or if you really want to, like say they're going to down tech DP. You can do that. Like it's just a lot you can do. It only works with like certain like setups. Like if I do this with like Go on assist, he'll actually hit the assist out of like its startup. Yeah, it's pretty weird, but it's worth going for in some scenarios because like sometimes like a DP might just have less startup. Like gotchu to 4 DP, it's really slow. So it's definitely worth going for if you really think they're gonna do something that monkey. But otherwise, just do meaty 2L. Alright, and then the last thing would be just what you should do on like level 3 Oki. As a grappler, you should definitely just safe jump people, as it's definitely your most safe option. But I've actually come up with ways to make this a lot more creative in a sense, because you can kind of card cancel his JH. So I'm just going to do a normal safe jump. That's kind of just what you would mainly do. But you can also do things like this. You can do Kara cancel JH into 6M. It's like it's like a visually weird like phenomenon. Oops, I messed it up. But it's really weird. I don't know if it'll hit on a lot of people. Honestly, a lot of times the 6M can hit them if they're just like really searching for grab. But it's sometimes worth going for. Like stuff like that is good. Or you could even card cancel the 5H and a grab. That's honestly a scary effect because a lot of times, sometimes people get like DR crushed and they'll just mash on your grab. Oops. Like you could do this, or you could do that. So like those options are honestly just a cool like kind of just being creative with your offense. I can say that, but like I said, with conditioning, only really go for those things if you're like sure that your opponent will really respect you long enough for you to actually go for that kind of stuff, you know? So it's not really like, how would you say this? It's not really like guaranteed hit, but it's worth going for every once in a while, especially if like the opponent really doesn't know how to fight SBroly, in which most cases not a lot of people do since the character doesn't really see much play. So hopefully that helps. Okay, the fun part, combos. So what combos should you be doing as SBroly? Now, my opinion, his BMBs work. You guys probably all know them. Just doing like 5L, 2M, 2M. This is pretty much a pretty good BMB. It's like stuff like that. Or you could do... always do 2 stomps. That's the big thing, I would say, in his BMBs. Always do 2 stomps. But me personally, I love doing Quake. Quake is so good in his combos. Like you can do... like this is a good one. That's a good... like, whoa, you see that damage? 4.5k. Really good. If you have meter as an SBroly player, always do Quake. It's going to do so much more damage. And the way that EX scaling works nowadays is that you're pretty much just going to gain that meter back. So just, if you have that cash, just spend it. Please just spend it. And then like this next part is going to talk about like his re-jumps off of 6H slash headbutt. Now, if you don't want to re-jump, like I said, you can just do... oop, I didn't mean to do that. You can just do like... you can always link 2L after headbutt. But if you want to re-jump, this is like the easiest way to re-jump. You can just do... IAD, JL into that. That's really easy. It's auto-timed. So you don't really have to worry about like any specific thing. And then here is the Cater Classic. Because I'm pretty much the only SBroly that does this. And most other SBrolys that do this only really get it from me. Or it's like... the SBroly combo lords like Lily or Run It on Wada, like them, like they know about this. I love this combo. This combo is sick. It does so much damage, but you have to. This is a very detailed part. When you do the re-jump, it is very important that you delay 5L. I mean delay JL. Like I'm going to like show you how much you delay it. You pretty much only want to delay it to the point to where like you see like that. Your JH barely hits them on the ground. When that happens, that's when you know you have the re-jump. If you do it like this... oh, my bad. Let me show you a better example. Oh, that was pretty much it. But like, if you do like the JL too early... you see how he recovers before he lands on the ground? Well, he doesn't recover before he lands on the ground, but like the JH hits them before he lands. You kind of want to have it to where like he's about to touch the ground and then do it. Like once you get it consistent, it's actually really easy. But you don't want to delay it too long, like the JL too long, or else like it won't happen. It's kind of just like his normal corner combo, which I'll get to in a minute. But you kind of just want to do this. This pretty much goes like damn near full screen. It's so good. I love doing this combo. Granted, it's kind of hard, but if you can get this combo consistently, I would definitely go for it. Because when he has his optimal combos, like his 5M combo, look how much damage he gets to do. $6.2k. Well, almost 6.3k. Like... It gets crazy. It gets absolutely crazy. So if you want to learn that re-jump, you pretty much just have to make sure you get the JL timing right. If you get the JL timing after the super dash right, you'll get it consistently. You just have to keep practicing it. But if you don't want to do it, like you don't really want to do that hard combo, if it's like a kill combo and you're not like me, like an idiot, and I always do hard combos regardless. If you want to do an easy combo, just do the IAD. But pretty much just choose one of those three. But if you really, truly want to make it simple, you could just link 2L after the headbutt. It's not really that hard at all. So, alright. So, combos in the corner. For this, I would say my philosophy would be if you can get a JH2L re-jump, get the JH2A rejump because it's just so good. If not, you can do other things, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. But for now, let me show you like things that you can do in the corner. I'm not going to do the JH2L stuff yet because I think this thing that I'm about to show you is so important. And I don't see enough SBroly's doing it. So, let's say you get a combo. You can re-jump like, hold on, let me get like burn my double jump. Give me the right height. You can do that delay JL into 2L. It is so good for corner extensions, and overall, just like it's just really good for extending his combos past like a point to where you really wouldn't think he could extend it. Just be mindful of just hit stun. That's about it. But it's really good. I don't see enough SBroly's doing it, but please do it. It's really strong. And then another thing would be his well, other than that, it really is just JH2L stuff. But this. Other than that, that rejump does work if you're close to the corner. You just have to make sure you're at the correct height. Yeah, you just have to make sure you're at the correct height. But other than that, JH2L stuff, you could just do, well, I'll show you this one. Oops. This one is pretty much just like a universal one that I tweaked. It builds good meter. It's pretty easy. It's off an L starter. Another one would be this one that only works on like mid-sized bodies. The JM whiffs on small bodies, like mid-sized to big bodies. The JM does whiff on small bodies, by the way, but yeah, it's most characters you'll fight are big bodies anyway, so it should work. But if it doesn't, you can just do let me tag Antigua on just to show you. You can do this. You just don't do the JM. You just do that. A little bit less damage, but that's if it is like a small body in the rare occurrence that it is. His optimal medium starter combos. So say you get like a medium starter and you don't really have enough for Quake, you could just do this instead. He can link his 2L after 5H. Oops. This is a lot of damage, and he didn't use a single bar. No meter, no nothing. Now, if you have meter and they're in the corner, good lord, bro, it gets bad. Like, look how much damage you can do in the corner. He builds that meter back and does 6.3k. Now, this is even the most optimal combo. I think the most optimal combo is this one. This does, yeah, almost 5k. So it does, so like 6.5k, a lot more. It's just that 6M is kind of iffy in like net play because sometimes it just won't come out in time. But it's definitely worth going if like you got meter to spend. In most cases, you will have meter to spend because this is season 4, so it's definitely worth going for it. But just like if you don't have meter, do the 5H string. It's really easy. If you don't have meter, if you do have meter, use EX, and pretty much just have fun. If you don't have like any confidence in JH2L, you can simply just do his loops. What I mean by that, if you have anything that can send them the right height, you can just do that. So for example, if you have like a combo like this, and you don't really want to hit it, this is the right height. You can just go straight into loops. Anything that sends you to like 2L height is big enough. So like, let me just do this to show you. Oops. You see how they're at maximum height of his 2L? If any character is at that height, you can always either do the JH2L rejump or you could do the loops. That only works if they're at that height. So that is a very, very important thing for SBroly. Always remember that. If you can't take anything away from this corner combo section, just remember that if they're at that height, you can always do the rejump. Another thing I wanted to talk about is his grab combos. His grab combos, they are special, if that makes any sense. Like in my time of playing SBroly, there's been a high variety of like grab combos they do in terms of corner and mid screen. I'm going to tell you the combos that I do and I think are obviously just like the most optimal ones. So, mid screen. There's not really like a good way to confirm off grab mid screen. Like you can do, let me see if I can get it. The really hard like dash up 5L. Hold on, let me try it. It's really hard to do. I would really recommend doing this.
A few moments later.
There we go, got it. Oops. But yeah. So like that combo, it's really hard. I wouldn't like recommend going for it, but of course you have meter, you can always just vanish. Oops. You can literally always just vanish and just get a good conversion. So I don't really have much like tips for that mid screen. There are like certain assists that allow you to do like special stuff. Like for me, with my Vegito assist, I can do this. It's really good. Solo, like it goes full screen, any conversion, I get this. So you can just try like lapping what assist can give you like those types of conversions, but obviously it's only a couple. But for corner, this is where this becomes more universal. Oops. So, for corner, there are, in my opinion, 2 real ways you should do his grab combos that aren't EX, obviously. Like EX, you can just, well, I forgot to mention this, but EX, you always have to do this. You can either go into this combo, or you can go into obviously the 2L link, or you can do the IAD-JL. It's up to you which one's easier. It just depends. But for his L grab in the corner or M grab, if you get it, if you're just like that, I would recommend doing this combo on any small or medium body. This doesn't work on big bodies. This is his best, like, it's the most optimal combo, builds the most meter, and does the most damage. So, if you can get that combo, I would highly recommend doing it. It's not that hard to learn. You just have to get the timing after that L Quake. And then, you would do this combo on every other body if they're like a big body. You could do dash up 2L for the extra damage. Just go in the loops. Like so. And you can do that. For the corner on EX grab, I would say try doing this combo. Really good damage as well. SBroly just has really good damage off his grabs, but I would, if those combos are hard to learn, you could ask me questions in the comments, but I would highly recommend learning the most optimal grab combos for most small and medium body characters, since those are really the only like size characters you're going to play in today's meta. 2H combos. So, SBroly, he can do this 2H combo on most of the cast. It doesn't work on big bodies for some reason, but he can do this 2H combo. Really good 2H combo. Works on small and mid-sized bodies. Or if, say you want to do a harder combo, you can do this one. I saw this on Twitter. It's interesting. It's a lot of damage. You get a Jade's 2L rejump. Almost 4K. So almost 5, not 3. Almost 5.4K. It's really good. Really damn good. It's just kind of hard because you have to float and time that JL properly to where you can just hit the 2L at that height that you need, but it's really worth going for sometimes. DR combos, he can do the same things. Like, for example, if he hits a small or mid-sized body, he can do JLL, J2H into that same rejump. Oops, too many hits. They can only do like 3 in the air. I guess only 2. But yeah, you can do this if you're solo and you want a good extension. I created a better one. You can do this. JML float into that. This is universal. Really good damage. Really, really good damage. It's kind of hard, but if you can hit it, go for it. Alright, and we made it to the last part of the video, synergy. Honestly, SBroly synergy, you want a team that can support his weaknesses the best. So any defensive assist on point, like Tingon A, Vegito A, which is the best assist in the game, but don't let him know I told you that. But any defensive assist is great for SBroly because it really just lets him do like whatever he wants and he can have no repercussions for it. That's really just the meta as a whole, to be honest, but SBroly as a character, he really needs some defensive assists. So you kind of always want to have defensive assists to, like, say you want to do grab plus assist. Grab plus assist is so strong with SBroly. It really makes them have like legitimate things on defense. Like if they try to jump, react to the assist with like jump JS or anything like that, the assist is going to hit them because it's invincible, or if it's Vegito, they have like it spawns far away from them to not get happy birthdayed. So things like that, it's just really strong. And then you also just want to make sure you have assists that that cover his dead zones. That's also a big thing, because his 226S has a dead zone. It's weak to lows, or like when he has like a bad quake like this, like say he jumps over them like that, you need something to cover that dead zone. That's why you can call like DP assist to cover that. And just like pretty much any defensive assist is great with SBroly. That's the point I'm trying to say here. Any defensive assist is great with SBroly. You should always run defensive assist with him, in my opinion. But you don't have to. You can run more like offensive assists, more linear assists. It's up to you, honestly. But for my recommendation, I would run defensive assists. And that will wrap up this SBroly guide. I originally planned to make this a combo video, but I don't know. My friends talked me into just making this like an overall comprehensive guide. And yeah, I have a lot of mastery with this character, to be honest, so I didn't really mind making this. But if you guys liked it, you can probably subscribe if you like. Like, bro, I could use some subs. Like, if y'all love this video, y'all can sub. Like, if you guys have a comment on the combos or the synergy, any suggestions, I'll gladly answer them, and I'll help to whoever SBroly who's out there who may need my help. So, thank you for watching this video, and y'all have a good one. Peace.